This man hijacked a passenger plane, demanded $200,000, then jumped into a storm and vanished. He paid cash for a one-way ticket to Seattle and gave the airline a name that would soon become legendary: Dan Cooper. He appeared completely ordinary. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, and waited calmly as the aircraft left the ground. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a folded note to a flight attendant. She assumed it contained his telephone number and slipped it into her pocket. Cooper quietly warned her that she should read it. The message said he had a bomb and instructed her to sit beside him. He opened his attaché case just wide enough to reveal red sticks, electrical wires, and a battery. Whether the bomb was real, no one could tell. His demands were precise: $200,000 in $20 bills, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting when the aircraft reached Seattle. The crew secretly alerted authorities, and while the passengers remained unaware, one of the largest hijacking operations in American history began unfolding below. For nearly 2 hours, the aircraft circled above Seattle while authorities raced to collect the money, locate 4 parachutes, and prepare the airport. The ransom was assembled in $20 bills. Before handing it over, investigators photographed the money and recording every serial number. When Flight 305 landed in Seattle, the hijacker received the money and parachutes exactly as demanded. So far, everything had gone according to plan. In exchange, Cooper released all 36 passengers, but he kept several crew members aboard and ordered the aircraft back into the sky. He ordered the pilots to fly towards Mexico City, below 10,000 feet, with the landing gear down and the aircraft moving unusually slowly. At approximately 7:40 that evening, Flight 305 took off again and disappeared into the stormy darkness above Washington State. Once the aircraft was airborne, Cooper sent the last flight attendant forward. For the first time, he was completely alone in the passenger cabin. He used cord from one of the parachutes to secure the heavy ransom bag, then carefully strapped himself into the remaining equipment. Before leaving, he removed his black clip-on tie. It would become one of the few physical clues he left behind. Shortly after 8 o'clock, a warning appeared in the cockpit. Somewhere behind the crew, the aircraft's rear stairways had begun to lower. Wearing only a business suit and dress shoes, Cooper stepped onto the open staircase as the aircraft flew through rain, wind, and total darkness. Around 8:13, the crew felt the aircraft's tail move suddenly. Cooper had jumped and vanished somewhere over the forests of Washington. When the Boeing finally landed in Reno, federal agents stormed the cabin. Kruger, the parachute, and almost all the ransom money were gone. The FBI named the investigation NORJAC, short for Northwest Hijacking, and began hunting for the only successful unsolved skyjacker in American history. Search teams combed forests, rivers, farms, and mountain roads. But without a confirmed jump location, they were searching thousands of acres for a ghost. The FBI doubted he survived. His parachute could not be steered, his clothing was unsuitable, and even an experienced jumper would have faced terrible conditions. Then, in 1980, a young boy digging beside the Columbia River uncovered 3 decaying bundles of $20 bills buried in the sand. The serial numbers matched. The discovery totaled $5,800 and remains the only portion of Cooper's ransom ever recovered. The FBI investigated more than 800 suspects. Skydivers, soldiers, criminals, and copycat hijackers were examined, but none could be conclusively identified as Cooper. One famous suspect committed a remarkably similar hijacking just months later, but conflicting descriptions and evidence eventually led investigators to rule him out. And here is another twist. The hijack never called himself D.B. Cooper. He used the name Dan Cooper. The press got it wrong. In 2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI directed its resources away from the case. The mystery remained officially unsolved. Did Cooper die in the forest? Did he escape with the money? Or was his real identity hidden somewhere inside the investigation all along? No one knows. He jumped into the storm and disappeared into history.